Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of UCSBTV. Happy midterm season, or sad midterm season if that's more accurate. Pastimes for spring are around the corner, and we thought it would be fun to highlight some professors and classes that have done a great job of understanding and accommodating the circumstances of online learning. Zoom school is the absolute worst thing ever, but that makes those professors who put in the extra effort to support their students all the more wonderful and appreciated. With that being said, let's hand it off to Maddie with some student testimonials.
Okay, so Scout, tell me about the great experience you had with your professor.
So the experience I have had with my professors so far, Cynthia Stoll and Com 108, has been really good. She's super understanding of everybody's circumstances, and I think like one thing that is kind of her signature that she always does is on our Wednesday class, which is our second lecture of the week, she always closes off the class with like, be kind, be safe, be healthy, and just kind of little updates about like how to keep ourselves safe and stuff. And she really genuinely cares about us, is what it feels like.
And then you mentioned an email that she sent you after Zoom difficulties. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so there was a day where we figured out what happened is her Zoom wasn't updated, so she couldn't form like breakout rooms or something because of the update. And then she felt super bad about it, the whole class, and everyone was like, no, it's fine. And then she eventually sent us this email, which was in poem form. There is a professor named Stoll who today wasn't good in her role. She tried to share her screen, but it wasn't seen, and her students did not find it droll. But after class, she and Yuri hovered over the keys, the settings, and discovered an interrupted updating was havoc creating. So Professor Stoll updated the system and it recovered. So next Monday, here's what we'll do. Go back to the videos to discuss and view, finishing the lecture on rights, and shedding more light on your paper, which the 10th of February is due.
That is so cute. Shout out Professor Stoll.
She used like 3 different things for us. Like we had sections that were more labs, and then her lectures were split up so they were shorter. And she also made a podcast, and like having a variety of things to do made it a lot more engaging. And she had like 2 weeks of work will be dropped, no questions asked. Like if there's something you can't do, like don't worry about it. Professor Barrett teaches Phil 3, and he got rid of exams because he thought that like if he were taking an online exam, it would be like too stressful. So instead he's like giving us like a lot of different homework assignments, and that will be our grade. They somehow found a way to like make their lectures really fun so that it's a lot easier to pay attention the whole time.
I've taken actually 2 courses with Dr. Connor over the pandemic. I took Ling 194, which was on speech language pathology in spring. And then this past fall, I took Ling 136, which was African American language and culture. And it's been super fun to be a student in her class because she does some synchronous meetings, but also does some of them asynchronously. So it's a good balance to like get some community in class time, but also do things on your own time. And she's just been super accommodating throughout the whole time, always doing like little dance parties in class or playing songs that students like at the beginning of class. She would ask us for our preferences at the beginning, would always push back assignment deadlines or give extensions when needed, was super responsive and really considerate of everything that was going on, especially with all the protests back in spring quarter and all the crazy COVID stuff happening in fall and all the other shutdowns and stuff. So it's been really good to have her, and her energy just keeps us going.
How do you feel that your experience in her classes have affected your online learning as a whole?
I think it's made it a lot more positive. I wasn't really a fan of synchronous learning at first, but showing up to her classes were a lot of fun, and the discussions that we had were super meaningful. And we actually got to connect with our peers and have important conversations that I feel like were relevant to life and everything that's going on in the world, not just some arbitrary topics. So it made it really exciting, and I actually looked forward to going to class.
Oh, well, it sounds amazing. Now I want to take a class from Dr. Connor.
Specifically during election week, since I had her last quarter, everyone is obviously stressed out because it was midterms week, and then we're in a pandemic, and then it was election week, and instead of like assigning us like something like John Locke or Machiavelli to read because it was a writing class, she told us that like she gave us 2 weeks to read. It was like a Megan Thee Stallion article of like Black Beauty, and she was just very accommodating, and like I just won't forget that. It was just my favorite class because I was taking 5 classes last quarter, so it was my favorite class, and I got like a super high A in it just because if she saw you putting in the effort, she like appreciated that. And a lot of the writing was kind of about your own personal like definition of feminism and how you've grown in like a patriarchy type of thing. So I learned a lot, and it was a really cool class, and she was amazing. She was so nice.
So actually our first day of class this quarter, he actually sent us a poll through Zoom that had us just answer just a series of pretty basic questions like where are we located, how many units are we taking, what year are we? But then he included a section for us to kind of write out what our concerns were and what we might be struggling with, just with the pandemic, with online learning, etc. And dependent upon what we wrote in that particular section, he actually ended up sending personal emails to all of his students in that class, just reminding us that we can always go to his office hours. I remember I personally wrote down that I was just really stressed about online learning because it's hard for me to focus. And in his email to me, he literally just said like, "Hi Stella, I noticed you seem stressed about online learning. Please let me know if there's anything I can do for you." And then just in light of everything that's been going on, he's just been super lenient. He lowered our midterm word count by quite a bit. And it's just super sad that a professor that's been so generous and understanding during, the pandemic is now unfortunately recovering from COVID himself. And so haven't seen him in a while, which is such a bummer, but truly one of the most thoughtful professors I've had at UCSB.
Yeah, and we just wish the best for Dr. Linz, and that he has a speedy and quick recovery.
Mm-hmm.
But how has your experience in this class impacted your online learning as a whole?
Yeah, so I look forward to this class because we meet on Zoom only once a week versus normally meeting twice. And in that meeting time, we kind of discuss the different materials from that week. Dr. Linz is super engaging and asks all of us to participate. So that's been actually fun because it really forces that personal interaction with people that we're not really getting very often during these times, at least hopefully. So yeah, that's been really great. And then it's just it honestly just makes me feel so at ease knowing that I'm attending a class with a professor that truly cares about his students, and any sort of issues or conflicts that may arise, I know he'll be accommodating and understanding. So it definitely just alleviates that stress and pressure of feeling like there's too much on your plate kind of thing. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm also in one of his classes, as I told you, but he literally makes my day I'm not stressed to go to class. I'm okay, let's go. I'm actually going to learn something. Mm-hmm. And then is there anything else you wanted to add that we haven't talked about yet?
The only thing I'd like to add is just for, all UCSB students to kind of just send some get well vibes to Dr. Linz, because he's truly a really important, member of our campus, especially in the comm department with the various classes he teaches. So if we can all just have him in our thoughts, I think that will be good and make him feel a lot better as well.
Thanks, Maddie. And thanks to everyone who shared their stories with us. My heart's really warm. And hopefully for those watching, this will help you when you're picking your classes in the next couple of weeks. That's all we have for this week's episode. Good luck on your midterms, and we'll see you guys next week.